Hello. Oh, a little bit loud there. Sorry about that. Here we go, stand by. Just over a minute to go and we are live. And we are live, in a tunnel. Let me take the reverb off there. It sometimes excites me a little bit too much, the reverb. I'm Mike Russell from Music Radio Creative. I'm the creative director here at Music Radio Creative. So that means I kind of look after all things creative, whether that's creating audio, or creating cups of tea. I do that too. I am a creative, I'm sure, just like you. So what are we going to do and what are we going to cover in this live stream now for the next hour? It's all about stems. You see those things behind me, all those audio stems that are flying past at a rate of knots. So not only exporting them, even though this is the title, obviously I like to have a title of the show to sort of hook you in and get you all excited about what we're going to be doing. But we'll do so much more than that. We'll go through, we'll mix around with a sung jingle. We'll play with some sound effects. We might even create some sound effects and some music to go with the stuff I've got. On top of that, I am going to export stems by the bucket load today. So what do I mean by stems? Let's clear that up. Audio stems are basically the little individual elements of an audio production that you create, for instance, in Adobe Audition in the multitrack. So when you're in the multitrack, it's probably easier to show you actually. When you are in the multitrack of Adobe Audition, you get what's called different tracks, as you know, all these different tracks that you can see over there right now. And these different tracks consist of different audio elements. So here on the screen, I've got a sung jingle, and if I play it...
Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remix, MRC.
So that's a rather cool jingle, isn't it? And there's many layers to that. As you can see, many stems. There are so I'm going to be mixing around with that, mixing around with some of our voice artists as well to create some kind of production. And when I'm happy with all that, I will export it all as a bunch of stems, and then I'm going to upload it probably to our Google Drive somewhere, and then I'm going to make sure that you're able to get hold of it over at our community forums, which you can access, by the way, at mrc.fm/community. Here is the community forum. It's buzzing, absolutely buzzing with topics since we launched at the start of this week. So I would love to have you join up if you haven't done so already. And the way to do that is to head over to mrc.fm/community. That's mrc.fm/community. And in a hidden category that will only be open to anyone who has signed up to the community, I will post a topic right after I finish this stream, and I'm going to upload all of my stems, and I'm going to say to you, I'm going to say, go take those stems and go and make something amazing in Adobe Audition or your DAW of choice, and then go and post it all for us to hear, okay? So it's kind of like my challenge here for a Friday as we head into the weekend. I'm going to do something myself, and I'm going to export the stems, and I'm going to let you have a play with them over the weekend and see what you come up with and post inside the community. But like I say, I will post that when I finish this live stream, so directly after the live stream. If you're listening to the podcast, you probably will already find them. If you sign up to the community, it'll be in a secret category, so you have to join the community in order to see that category, and then you'll be able to get hold of the elements and have some fun with them. Okay, so we're getting started right now. I will mention comments every 15 minutes during the show, so if you are watching right now, do get your comments in on YouTube, on Facebook, on Periscope, on Twitch, and I'll be looking out for any questions you've got or anything you want to say, and we'll get it out here on the stream. So, I've got some audio here, some beautiful singing from Kim, who's a fantastic singer, and she did sing a jingle for MRC.FM, as you can hear. Now, the beautiful thing about having the individual stems here that I've imported is that I can play about with any individual track. I can EQ as I like. I can do basically whatever I like. If I want to get these out as stems, this is the easiest way to do it. Let me show you that straight away. File here, export, and then there's an option to do multitrack mix down entire session. So sometimes you might be tempted to go to multitrack and mix down to a new file, to a waveform, and then save that waveform. But actually it is possible in Adobe Audition to save directly from the multitrack into audio file. So I can either say selected clips or the entire session. So let's do the entire session here. And I've got sung jingle mix down. So if I change that to downloads /MRC sung, like so, and just check everything's okay. Sample type, same as source, which should be 44/100 hertz. We're going in stereo. We've got 32-bit here. A wave uncompressed. Yes, I want it as a waveform. I mean, if I want another lossless codec, I could go for something like... I've got notifications turned on at the moment. Let's switch them off so we don't keep getting the pop-ups up the top. Yes, that's obviously you posting in the forum, so I appreciate that. We've got Monkey's audio, not very common, but it is lossless. AIF, which is Apple, and you've got, where is it? Yeah, you can also save as FLAC as well. For your audio files who love listening to FLAC files, you can actually export from Adobe Audition in FLAC, which is cool. So I'll do a quick test here now just to show you what is possible. So wave, and if we say mix down the entire session, what will happen is it will combine all of these audio waveforms together and just make one single file in my directory here called Sung Jingle Mixdown, which is not what we want. We want the stems. So I need to change this. And here we have a wonderful dialog box. Let's see whether it's possible to maybe just zoom in on that for a second so you can see what's going on. So you can mix down each source into separate files. Now I'm working in stereo here, but if I was mono, I could tick over to mono. But stereo will be fine for me. And then as you can see, all 15 tracks are available here for me to choose to mix down. If I want to take all of them out, just tick the top track button, and then I get all of those tracks ready to export. The same with a bus. If I had a bus going on, which was bussing together a few of these tracks, I could also do the same on that. So now I've got that there, I can click OK, and then let's just click OK to that. So it tells me now it's mixing down all of these tracks, and if I click OK right now, boom, doesn't exist. Yes, let's create it. Now it's mixing that down to MRC sung, and as you'll see, if I drag this in here are all my stems. Let's drag that right into view. Here are all my stems that have just come out of that multi-track session. And this is actually the mix down of everything. So let's have a listen to it.
Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. MRC.
And then we've got all the individual tracks here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that MRC sung directory available, and then when we get to post that in the community later on, I will post that as one of the elements you can grab a hold of. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do in my creation, because there are further stems to create, but this is all a bit messy. I can't really do much production with this because I have so many different tracks with Kim singing. What I'd like to do is make her sound as fantastic as possible using my effects rack and a few buses, and then I'm going to mix this all down into one track that I can then import into another multi-track session. So let's go through and create some buses. I'm going to add a stereo bus, and I'm going to add everything from this section onto bus A. Because as you can see here, Kim is singing different lines in different sections. So if we just solo bus A now, we'll just get this bit.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
And then she says non-stop remixes down there.
MRC.
And this is just one part of her singing MRC. So let's pan that over to the left, pan that over to the right. Let's do a hard pan.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
Now, if you're listening in stereo, it should sound really good for you.
MRC.
So let's work on just EQing this and making this sound rather cool. So let's go into parametrics here and have a play.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing, mind blowing.
I'll put it on loop so I can have a play.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. 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 Brain smashing, mind blowing.
Okay, I think that's pretty cool. Let's have a listen to the final bit.
MRC.
And then we'll go in and let's go for a little bit of, where are we here? Amplitude and compression. And we're going to go into the single band compressor.
MRC.
Obviously, that's really pumping up the audio. Let's turn the ratio down quite significantly on this.
MRC.
Turn the output gain down.
MRC. 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 MRC.
Okay, that's sounding okay.
MRC.
Just bring the gain up on that a bit.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
That's sounding good. Right, anything else I want to do? Maybe a little bit of reverb. Let's see what kind of reverb we have available to us today.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing, mind blowing.
Let's reduce the size of the room a bit.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing, mind blowing.
Take down the high frequencies a bit.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing, mind blowing. MRC.
Okay, sounding good. So I'm quite happy with what I have there so far. I might actually save that as a preset, sung preset. And we'll just go ahead and create some more buses. Actually, I'll tell you what we could do is we could just stick everything now through bus A for the simplicity of ease here. So let's do that. And then I'm going to mix out these stems with some processing on. So then we'll have two different versions available to you after the show that you can have a listen to. So you can have a listen to the originals and also the stems with some, just a touch of processing on. So just adding these all to the bus so they all get the same effects on. Boom, boom, boom. And that is done. Okie dokie. So now we should have something nice that sounds like this.
Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. MRC. .fm.
That's good. .fm. I like the .fm there at the end.
.fm.
Let's have a look how it looks if we mix it down to a waveform. How is that waveform looking?
Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. MRC. .fm.
Okay, excellent. What I am going to do, actually, I've decided, is I'm going to put these onto different buses, and I'll show you why I'm going to do this. It is another stereo bus I'm creating, and I'm creating different buses for different sections of this sung jingle, so I can have separate sort of substems of all the different sung elements and have individual control over them. So I'm just thinking later on when I get into further production of this jingle, I might well want to put different vocal effects. And again, this is a different singing part, so I'm going to put that onto a new stereo bus called bus C. By default, it's just bus A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it goes on and on. So that's going down to bus C now. And then finally, this last bit is going to go out to a new bus called bus D. Okay, let's put those all into bus D like that. And I mean, it doesn't really matter where you have your buses in the multi-track. Obviously, it just inserts them at the point that I create them. But it's totally possible to move these around. If you want, just grab them with the hand and drag them down. I can actually drag for simplicity and ease. If I just make that a bit smaller, you'll be able to see. I can just grab with the hand and drag all those buses to the bottom, so they're all in the same place. And I keep my multi-track nice and organized. And Bias Media has just done a super chat. Wow, I am so honored to see that lovely blue highlight. And that's my first super chat I have had from Poland. So dziękuję bardzo to Peter from Poland, who has donated 10 Polish zloty to the show. I'm just stunned that you can do that in any currency. That is super, super cool. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I know you've been in on the show quite regularly, and to get that support in the form of a super chat from you is super exciting and makes my Friday. So thank you very much for that. Really, really kind of you. Peter's just done a super chat on the YouTube live stream over at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. If you'd like to do the same, it's just the dollar button below the chat box. Just before I go into polishing off those buses and mixing down stems of those buses, let's see what you're saying in the chat. So now is your time to post any comments, and I'll get to them. I should be able to get through all of these comments actually in this little section of the show. So yes, do please post anything that's on your mind. Hi to David, who is Fluffman in the house. Wow, good to have you there from Australia. We got Peter in. Good afternoon to you. Martina back again. Nice to see you, Martina. Laurie's in from New Zealand. I love it that we have a lot of Antipodean viewers to this show. I'm a big fan of that part of the world. Actually, wow, it's many years ago now. Nearly 2 decades ago, I did the breakfast show on a radio station just south of Cairns in northern Queensland in Australia. It's one of the best times of my radio career, getting to walk to work along the river and look at the sugar cane and just obviously living in England now, it's a little bit different to waking up to those beautiful tweeting rainbow lorikeets. So definitely a big fan of that part of the world. Also, I'm a fan of Italy as well, and I see Renato is in from Italy. Just finished watching yesterday's tutorial. Had to change computer. Hope the stream is working out okay for you, Renato. Phil's in from Darlington, UK. We've got Anthony Hall. Good to have you back, Anthony, in Florida, USA. Simeon RDF is in from Berlin, another city very close to my heart in Europe. It's my pleasure to do these tutorials. Really enjoy doing them. James is in from East Africa. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Don LeBlanc, Creeps channel as well. Luis Riviera, hope all's well. Got a couple of liners made from MRC. Chelsea, oh, she's a good voice. I'm going to use her later, actually. She's in my session to use today. So yes, I'll make sure to pass on the thanks. And do I look pixelated? Do I still look pixelated, or is it your internet connection? I don't know. Anthony's saying I look broken and digital. Really? Hopefully not too digital now. Very pixely. Now better. So, we got that all sorted out. Maybe it's something with the stream at the start. Joe, y'all started without me. Good to see you in now. Gameplay Magic is in from Southampton. We got Eugene in Oregon. I know you once said you were doing these tutorials until mid-August, but I hope they continue after your holiday as they're very useful. Wow, thank you, Lewis. I really appreciate that. And if you keep enjoying them and you keep showing up for them, then definitely it's worth turning up for them, isn't it? So that's awesome. This is great. I had no idea you could export stems from Audition. Absolutely you can, Phil. And like I say, after this stream ends, I am going to go over to mrc.fm/community, which is just here, and you can join up if you haven't done so already. The link to head to is mrc.fm/community, and then you can go and sign up yourself. And in a secret category, only available to members of the community, I will post a new topic with links to download all the stems from today's session, so you can kind of have a play with them over the weekend. So that's mrc.fm/community. Mike, you performed a technique where you echoed the last word spoken, increased the pitch +1 with each delay, and increased the tempo on each segment. Do you remember which show it was, or can you demonstrate? Yes, I could. That's actually, yeah, I could demonstrate that now. So after I finish this little section of comments, I'll get into that once I mix down the elements of Kim's session. Jacob, thanks so much for what you do. I love spreading your videos to all my broadcasting students. And hello to Mr. Mega Radio UK. It's good to have you in the house. We've got some Twitch viewers, some Facebook Live viewers, so do make yourself known in the comments on those platforms as well, please. And hi to Kevin from Cleveland, Ohio. I am doing absolutely fantastic. Did want to tell you, by the way, as well, it's your last chance today and over the weekend to sign up at the low price to Mike Russell VIP. Just here, this is my VIP channel. It's a subscription YouTube channel. Price is going up this Monday, the 24th of July, 2017. So to get in at this price, get in before Monday, and you can get a daily video from me for subscribers only. And you can access that either at MikeRussellVIP.com. That's MikeRussellVIP.com, or the link that I have just posted over there in the chat. Now let's get to exporting these stems. So first of all, the MRC sung, where is the sung jingle that I had here? I created a little preset, I think. Let's have a look for that sung preset. I'm going to add that sung preset for sake of ease to all of these channels. And then I'm going to export the buses as stems. Okay, let's check we're happy with the sound of this.
Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. MRC.FM.
Yeah, that's sounding good. I'm actually going to save that now. And then actually another thing I can show you, when you're saving multi-track sessions, it's really good to have this enabled in preferences. Let's have a look. Where is it? Might be multi-track clips. Where are we? Media and disk cache. Let's have a look. There is multi-track. There are a lot of different possibilities here, but there is something that you can do. Save media cache files, save media cache database. What am I looking for now? Let's try and find it in here. Autosave. Yes, auto-saving is important to have these options ticked, so you're always backing up your audio as you're going along. Can't find what I'm looking for now. How funny is that? But there is an option to export. Maybe one of you know actually how to do this. I do remember how to do it, but not right now. There is an option to save all your files. Let me just go and show you here on the screen share. If I show you my files here, and you have a look here at these files. So when you save your multi-track session, there is a possibility to export every individual file with the multi-track session as well automatically. So say if you save your multi-track session, you are then able to access all the files in one folder. But for now, let's just get down to the multi-track export stems. So we're going to export those stems again. Let's do the multi-track mixdown entire session. So here's our dialog box for mixdown. And instead of mixing down the entire session or the tracks now, I'm going to untick mixdown master. I don't want the master. I just want the buses now, the individual buses to be mixed down into files. So let's click OK to that. And you'll see, again, I'm going to save these to MRC sung brackets bus here. OK. And then if I click OK to all of that and click yes, now I'm going to get a new file, or a new folder, I should say, in my download section here, and that's called MRC Sung Bus, and you'll see bus A, B, C, and D have been mixed down for me, which is brilliant because I'm going to use these now in my new session. So let's go over to, where are we? Production. And this is my Music Radio Creative template with all my presets on, and I can now drag in, as if by magic, those previously bus jingles. So as you can see now, these are the sung elements that I had in my sung jingle session, now nicely separated into elements, and instead of 15 tracks now, I've got only 4 tracks. And what I'm going to do is create a few more, let's see, a few more stereo tracks here. So let's do that. Add stereo track, and add one final stereo track. And I'm going to put them onto their own audio tracks here. So let's put all of these up here, because I'll be doing separate things as we go along with this sung jingle. Right, brilliant. And make sure that they are bussed through to my voice effects to give them a bit of extra punch. And let's listen to how this is sounding now.
Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. MRC.FM.
Okay, brilliant. That's sounding pretty good. Now what I want to do is bring in some other stems that I created earlier on in Logic. So here you can see I've got a 120 BPM drum loop. And before I go back to my production, I'm going to create a brand new session, and I'm going to call this drum loop, and bring in all of those. So you'll see I've got a clap, a cymbal, FX, hi-hat, kick, percussion, and snare. And actually, what I want is, let's close that down. I want a drum loop session, but I want it to be drum loop. Let's get that right. I want it to be without a template, so I can just bring in the raw audio without it being processed. So let's pop that all in here. Here we have it. Okay, fantastic. That's looking good. Now I've got the individual stems that I created earlier in Logic. And again, I'll be uploading these for you to use after this session on the mrc.fm/community page. So let's have a listen to the drum loop in its entirety. And what I can do with this is I can isolate and listen to the individual steps. So the clap here, and then I can bring in the cymbal and the effects and the hi-hat and the kick. And we've got the percussion. And of course, finally, there's the snare at the bottom. So if I wanted to, I could go into each individual track, and I could do some individual EQing on these. So for instance, the kick, the bass kick, I might want to have a little play with that and see whether we can just change the sound on that. So let's go for our graphic equalizer here on the kick. And we can play with different frequencies. Now let's have a look at this. Yes, it would help absolutely if I got the graphic equalizer onto the kick track. So let's do that. Kick track right here, and we're going to go for graphic equalizer 30 band. Just have a play with this. So we can lift that kick up in the mix. Let's have a look at it in also the parametric EQ as well, so we can get an idea of what's going on. So we're going to parametric equalizer here. And let's see, in the real-time display now, in Adobe Audition CC, we can see where that big bass is here. It's there. And if we wanted to, we could also just roll off anything here. Roll off some of the high end, maybe. Give it a fatter sound. Maybe add some compression in as well. Let's see what we can do with the dynamics processing preset. Ooh, that's loud. Now we're starting to work the compressor. Let's bring it back into the mix. It's kind of lost its punch now. Okay, so just a way that you can play about with each individual track. Again, let's listen to the clap. and analyze that. And then we'll bring in something else like this. We've got the symbol. Let's see what's going on here with EQ. Now, obviously, when you get these stems, if you're interested in joining the community and grabbing the stems after this session, then you can have a play yourself. And that's the best thing, because I'd love to hear what results you're able to get yourself. And we're all interested here in creating creative audio, so it really will be interesting to hear what some of you come up with. Right, let's go to the parametric equalizer on this. Now you can hear I'm sweeping through the frequencies here and changing the sound of it. Okay, let's bring that all together. Hear what we got so far. Sounding fatter, isn't it? Yes. Awesome. Wow. This is sounding good. Back to your comments. Post them up now and I will get to them. David, you're absolutely right. A compressor does give a bass drum a real kick, doesn't it? And I tell you, that bass drum right now, to my ears, is sounding fat. And when you put it into the mix, when you lay it into everything else we've got there, really, really sounding good. I feel like I'm in a nightclub, says Mega Radio UK. Hi there to our Russian friend watching right now, Peter. Mike, is the option to save copies of associated files when you go to File Export Session? Save copies of associated files. Is it the option save copies of associated files? No, I don't think that's what I'm looking for. There's a dialog box that comes up when you first save a session, when you first load Adobe Audition, and it's just slipped my mind now. But when you first load Adobe Audition, you do a session and then you save it, you have the option, it tells you, do you want to save all the media files in this session into a directory where your session is located? So if you were to go off and share your session somewhere else, you could also share all the files with it and you wouldn't have any lost file conflicts. But it's a one-click thing when you first load Adobe Audition. And I'm sure it's in the preferences, you can switch it on or off, but it just slips my mind right now exactly where that option is. But I always advise having that on, because then if you are sending your session off to other people, they will be able to load it without any problems at all. Lewis is in there. Hey, Lewis, nice to see you. Christopher is here on the train getting to work. Are you there now? It's good to see you in the chat. Do make yourself known in the chat today. Let me know what you're up to, what you're working on today, and also what you're up to over the weekend. For me, it's a really interesting time of the year because, of course, school holidays start today. Yay! And for us adults, that means entertaining the kids a lot. So my weeks all over the summer now are going to consist of long morning walks around the Isle of Wight, where we live, wearing the kids down in the morning so my wife Isabella can do just a little eensy piece of work in Music Radio Creative, because obviously we're a husband and wife team, so if we're both off work, that's kind of not good, because no emails get answered, the phone doesn't get answered, and these streams don't happen. So yeah, we've been very deliberate about this school holidays, because it's the first school holidays we're actually going through in full, because my eldest has just started in her first primary year in school. So to get through this, we said, right, I'll take the mornings with the kids and you can take the afternoons. So obviously the afternoons I get to spend with you here on the live stream. And then after I finish, like, you know, tying up all the work and doing stuff and responding to your comments in the community. So that's kind of how we're working it. It seems like a pretty good option to me. Christopher, that's awesome. I'm your morning ritual. I'm loving that. Thank you. Well, thank you for turning up and being here on the stream. Mark Denholm is there. That option of saving all the files comes up for me every time I save a session file. I've never seen it asked to be set as default, though. Interesting. I think what you need to do is there's a tick box saying don't show this again, and then you click yes, and then forever it's set, but you can save it. You can change it in the preferences. So yeah, something like that, something along those lines. Oh, right, hang on. Let's go back. I think it's the background, the crazy waveform background that was making me all pixelated. I think I'm overloading YouTube's bit rate at the moment with a crazy waveform. So we'll stick with this, shall we? Because this isn't so pixelated. Don LeBlanc, pixelation is only a green screen phenomenon with that particular background. Yes, I will not go back to that background now that I know it's not a decent background. Right, I've done some good EQing on this. Pretty happy with it. I could EQ some other bits and bobs. What have we got here? Oh, the snare. Let's see what we can do with the snare here. This could also be quite fat, couldn't it, this snare? Let's really fatten it up. And again, I'm just using my ears. And let's add a little bit of dynamics processing to that snare. Whoa, that's fat. Let's sit it in the mix. Okay, I think we've got something worth playing with there. So let me export that as my processed stems of that particular drum loop. So file, export, multitrack mixdown, entire session here. And this is the drum loop mixdown. Now, I do want to save it as a master track because I want to go and use it in my production session. So I'll tick yes on stereo, but I also want all the tracks. And do you know what I'm going to do so that they're all named nicely? What you can do when exporting as stems is name all your tracks. So that's the clap track. This is the cymbal, and we've got an effects track here, FX, and we're going for hi-hat as well, and kick. Let's label that up here, and then we're going for percussion and snare over there. Okie dokie. So file, export, multitrack mixdown, entire session. And then we go into here, mixdown options. So yes, I want a stereo master of that, but I also want all my tracks. And look how they're all nicely labeled now. Let's zoom right in on that so you can see. So they're all labeled. So when I didn't change the names of the tracks, it was just track 1, track 2, track 3, and that's how they'd look in the folder I saved to. So it wouldn't be very intuitive because I wouldn't know what's what. But if I go ahead and label my tracks, as you can see I've done now, I get some nicely named files. So that's good. I'm all happy with that. Yep, wave is what I want. Click OK, and that's going to export. And yes, actually, that has exported into my MRC Sung Bus folder because I didn't create a new folder. Let's create a new folder called Drum Loop and drop them in. I'll just show you what I'm doing now on the screen. So we've got everything here, but we don't want to take the sung jingles with us. So let's take that through into Drum Loop. And there they are, the individual stems. And this stereo, this drum loop mixdown stereo, that's the full mix. So now I can go ahead and take that and pop that over into, where is it, the production session that I'm working on here with the sung jingle. So we'll drop that drum loop stereo in, and we'll drop it onto a nice music area here.
Brain smashing.
Okay, not quite on beat here at the moment, so let's move this around a little bit. So we just need to move that in a little bit, I think, to get it absolutely accurate.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing. Brain smashing. Non-stop re.
Now, I think we've got a little change here on the audio. Let me drag in another drum loop that I've got and place that in. Have a listen to how this sounds.
Brain brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. MRC.
Now I'm going to use that one for the moment.
Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. MRC.
And wow, look at that. Fantastic. Thank you, David Silk, for the wonderful super chat. $5 Australian. Have to send you a super chat, Mike. You help with tips and info and have taught me some new tricks. Thanks for the time you make for us every single day. Well, it's my pleasure. And thank you so much, David, for that wonderful super chat there inside youtube.com/Music Radio Creative. Very, very grateful indeed. Thank you for that. So let's see. Right, now we need to cut off some of the end of that and drag it in to make it work here. So I just want to cut there and let's see what we've got here. Right, let's pull that in there. And we want this to go in somewhere around here. Let's see how we're going to mix this together so we can get a natural ending to this. That's looking pretty accurate there. Way too big of a crossfade though. Let's tidy that up. Now that's not quite right, is it? There we go. Okay, that's good. And I've got some sound effects as well I can possibly bring in at this stage. Let's bring that into the mix.
Brain smashing.
Nice. Okay. Let's put that at the start.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
And what effect have we got here on this one?
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non blowing. Non.
And we want an effect there as well somehow. So let's see what else I've got here in the arsenal.
Non-stop non-stop remix. Non-stop remix.
Oh, that could go at the end, I think. And pop that in there. Wow, Don LeBlanc, thank you so much. Awesome. A super chat of $15 US. Really, really appreciate you, Don. Thank you so much for that. And you didn't even post a comment. I can't even say Don has said this in the super chat, but that's very generous of you. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Really kind of you, Don. And it's great to see so much support of the show today. So thank you very much. Really, really appreciate you guys. It's a good point now, actually, to mention if you're not already in the community, do go ahead and join in at mrc.fm/community. I'll just post the link there if you're not signed up to that. There will be a secret for my computer fund. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's definitely going to help with buttering Isabella up. After the show, if you're a member of this forum, we'll have a secret category for members only where you'll be able to grab all the stems from the production I'm doing today. So yeah, do head over there and make sure you're a member for after the show. Right, let's have a look at what we can do with this now.
Brain smashing mind.
And let's bring in some imaging voices now. I do remember Lewis said that Chelsea was part of the lineup for Lewis, so let's bring in some of Chelsea's voice here.
Music mix. Music mix. Music.
And we'll put this in, and I think we'll make that echo a little bit different so it fits with the BPM here. I think we're going to look for 500 and 250 here. And let's bring that in now.
Music mix. Music.
And let's cue that up nicely. Here we go. And switch that off. There we go. Okay.
Music mix. Music mix.
Brain smashing.
Let's just tighten this up a little bit. Here we go. Wow, Anthony Hall, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you for your pint fund. Oh, yes. You know I like a pint living here in the UK. Thanks for sharing the knowledge. Anthony, it's my pleasure and really appreciate you for super chatting today on YouTube. There's Anthony's super chat if you're watching live, or if you're listening on the podcast and you're not familiar with YouTube, go and check out youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Thank you, Anthony. Really appreciate that. So over here, we are going to look at this particular voice here with Chelsea and just make sure this is all lined up perfectly.
Music mix.
Brain smashing.
And I want to bring the echo up in the mix. So let's do this.
Music mix.
Brain smashing. Mind.
Music mix.
Brain smashing.
Let's turn this down a little bit.
Music mix.
Brain smashing.
Music mix.
Brain smashing. Mind.
And what I'm going to do actually over here is I'm going to use one of my favorite plugins, and this is the Isotope Vocal Synth. Let's bring this in, and maybe a little bit of vocoder.
Music mix.
Brain.
Let's actually mute this for a second,
Brain.
and turn this one up.
Brain.
Let's see,
Brain.
maybe computer.
Music mix. Music mix.
Brain.
Let's see, maybe the talk box. Let's try that.
Brain smashing. Mind.
Music mix.
Brain.
Wow, Luis Riviera, Save the Beard Fund. Thank you so much for the super chat, Lewis. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Lewis. That's very kind of you indeed. And actually now would be a good time to head back into the chat and see what's going on there with your chat, because every 15 minutes during the show I like to mention what you're doing. So yes, I'm not going to go back to my my pixelated waveforms. Instead, I'll just keep here on Adobe Audition. We got Filmmaker Picture saying hello. Nice to see you. Only you. Hello, Mike. Nice to meet you again. Watching from Indonesia. We got David in the chat. Thank you, David. Phil just signed up to the forum. Great to have you there, Phil. And yes, I'll be creating a category and an area in the community forum where you'll be able to grab the stems of this audio later on. What else have we got? Mike, where do you get your samples? What's your library? What do you use? Well, we do have audio imaging effects available at musicradiocreative.com to purchase, but also I create a lot of my own. So everything I'm using today is all my own, and I work mainly in Logic Pro X to create these samples. And amazing, Jacob, thank you so much for the super chat there, Jacob. This is for all the hard work and helping me become better at audio production so I can teach my students better. Jacob, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for that wonderful super chat. And yeah, it's great to hear you're teaching students, because that's something I'm very passionate about, is passing this knowledge on and making sure it gets out there in an industry that doesn't talk enough about what they do. I like to try and give as much knowledge as possible. So thank you for that, Jacob. And if there's anything, by the way, you guys would like to know, obviously post in the chat stream. But the most important thing I would say is for you to go over and join up to the community. It's free. It's free, and this is where we'll just be doing knowledge sharing. So obviously, you know, I like to give what I know, but I also know that you're really smart people, or speaking to one person, you are a really smart person, and you know a lot of things that I don't. So when there's a question in there that maybe I don't have the answer to, or maybe I don't get there fast enough, I would love it if you would go and reply to others with questions there in the community forum. It's mrc.fm/community. That's the short link to get there. And yeah, we're just trying to build a community there. As you can see, it's a very engaged community already, and we only launched it this week. But it's all about audio production, tips and tricks, sharing the knowledge. Like I say, I don't think there's a place online at the moment where people can talk about this. I mean, there are other forums, of course, related to audio. One that I come across time and time again is Gear Sluts. I love that forum, but that's more of a kind of gear thing, and like, what do you use for your audio gear? Other forums I'm trying to think of. There's loads of them out there, but just one dedicated to audio production, imaging, tricks and secrets, producing sung stuff. So that's kind of where Music Radio Community hopefully comes into play there. Isabella's just come in to moderate with her spanner. Thank you so much. Nella's in as well. Danny says, nice. It's the weekend, Isabella. Time to pony up. Must be payday, says Joe. Anthony just signed up to the community. Lovely to have you in there, Anthony. And like I say, when I finish this stream, in just over 10 minutes, I'll be sending these all into the community. And what I'd like to do is create a thread inside that secret category that'll only be available to members of the community. And then I will post the stems. And what I'd like you to do over the weekend is take them, have a play with them, and then post back with what you've done and what you've achieved. So that's the fun, because that's the fun thing, is seeing what you'll come up with.
Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
So we got Chelsea there saying music mix. Let's drag a few other voice artists from MRC in here because we've got Pete saying, welcome, actually. It'll be good to have him saying welcome at the start. So let's get this.
Welcome. Music mix.
So we've got welcome here.
Welcome.
And then we'll get Chelsea here looped saying something like this, music mix. Let's bring that in.
Welcome. Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind.
Welcome. Music mix. Welcome. Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop remixes. MRC.
That's a bit eerie at the end, isn't it? Going to turn that down in the mix. There we go. Okay, the .fm, going to have a play with that, move that onto a track where I can add some imaging sounds on. Maybe this will sound good. Let's have a listen. Or maybe we should have some EQ. That kind of brings it out in the mix, doesn't it? Adding the EQ on there. And for this,
Brain smashing, mind blowing. No.
I might actually take that and pop it onto a... Actually, what I'm going to do here is have a think about this. I'll move this up to this track, and we'll use some vocal effects on it. What shall we use? Let's have a play with maybe some of the ring modulator. This is a free plugin, by the way, the ring modulator, that I absolutely love. Mentioned it before on the show, but worth linking to it again because it's just a super cool plugin for free from Melda Productions. And you can do cool stuff with your sung stuff.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop. Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop.
Let's have a look at some of these presets here.
Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
So as you can hear, you can
Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop. Brain smashing, mind blowing.
take that down in the mix and then double that up. Let's have a listen.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. No. Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop remixes. MRC.
And I'm going to put eternal reverb on the .fm. I think that would be quite a cool thing to play with. So we'll go for, let's go for studio reverb here, because that can be the longest, 10 seconds of reverb. And whack the dry up, keep the wet there. That's nice, isn't it? Okay, so we've got a basic jingle there.
Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop remixes. MRC.
I'm going to put something on the master track now. I'm going to put the mastering effect on the master track. Start from Subtle Clarity, which is one of my favorites. Let's see how this changes things.
Music mix.
Chelsea is too low in the mix, I'm noticing there. Let's turn around.
Music mix.
Brain,
Music mix.
brain smashing, mind blowing.
Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop remix.
You know what I think would work on the ring modulator there is a bit of phasing as well. So let's go for that. Where are we? Phaser. Let's see what we can do with the phaser.
Brain smashing, mind blowing.
So that's with phaser and without.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Brain smashing, mind blowing.
Sounding okay. Let's bring that into the mix, see how it sounds.
Music mix.
Brain smashing, mind blowing. Non-stop remixes. MRC.
Now, what I could do, and this is a little trick you can do, I'm just going to take this particular sung area here.
MRC.
Yeah, that's cool. That's mix down bus B. Let's remember that. This is one of the final things I could do, potentially. Over here, show spectral pitch display is really cool because it will actually show you the notes that Kim is singing. How cool is that? So here we got MRC, and I'm not going to attempt to sing it. That would be a disaster. G4, B4, and it looks like a D sharp / E. So what I'm going to do is briefly for the last bit, hop over into Logic, and I will drag that particular bust track. What did I say it was again? Let's have a look. Over in Adobe Audition, it is bus B. So I'm going to drag bus B into Logic here. Let's pop this in on a new track. So we've got the MRC here, and then what I can do over here on this instrument is I could try and have a little bit of fun with this by going to my synthesizer and grabbing a lead synthesizer. Let's just pick one here and start creating empty MIDI region. So now I'm sure you can probably view notes in Logic of singing too. In fact, I'm sure I've done it before, but I wanted to show you in Audition because that is my DAW of choice. And yeah, I just think it's a really, really cool thing to do. So let's see, what have we got here? G4. So let's place a note here on G4. G4 there, okay. A bit too long though, so we'll bring that down. Just so it matches up with Kim's MRC. Okay.
MRC.
And as you can hear,
MRC.
Adobe is absolutely accurate saying it's a G4. That works for me. So now we're looking for a B4. So let's hop back and pop this on here. We'll just pop that, get that in the right place, and then move that to B4.
MRC.
And then finally, we are looking for, I'm going to guess, looking at the shape of that, because it's kind of wobbling there from D sharp to E5, D sharp, E flat 5 to E5. I mean, what I could do is I could auto-tune this if I wanted to really, we're going to cover that actually next week on the stream, but just a basic, where are we here, automatic pitch correction. And what this will do, this will go through and just make it,
MRC.
it does a little bit of correction. Let's just apply that as it is. Whoa, yeah, it's kind of, it's definitely made that more accurate there. You can see that's a more accurate now, E5 and B4.
MRC.
Just ignore the fact that it's gone mental there, that line, that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes it does that, but you can definitely see, yeah, that's now an E5.
MRC.
So just subtle auto-tune. You wouldn't even know it had been auto-tuned, and that's the point. We're not T-Pain here today. So, and then we're going for E5, and we're just moving that in a bit to match up. Whoa, didn't want to do that. Undo. There we go. Let's see if that works. Hang on. Just going to draw my region on here so we play just the part I need here.
MRC. MRC.
There we go. So we've created the sonic logo for the radio station. So that's something really cool to try for yourself. If you have sung radio station jingles and you can grab the acapellas, or even if you get sung jingles from us, you will always get acapellas included, by the way, if you order sung jingles from musicradiocreative.com. What you can do is you can drag those sung acapellas into Adobe Audition. You can click into this, show spectral pitch display. You can find out the notes the jingle singer is singing, and then you can go over and use a music editor. I recommend Logic Pro, and then you can pop in the notes yourself, and you can create your own sonic logo. You can almost start to create your own jingles, and this is something I want to do a lot more on the stream in the future, is creating sung jingles and creating the logos that go with them and things like that. So you can see how easy it is to just get started and start playing with some of these features between doors. So now we got that. I mean, we can stay with Nightlife lead, or we can change it. Let's have a playback and see what we like.
MRC.
Or this.
MRC.
Or this.
MRC.
Or this.
MRC.
Or this.
MRC. MRC.
Or this.
MRC.
Or this.
MRC.
Oh, that's quite nice. Power lead. Let's remember power lead. Just before we wrap up, I will mention a few more of your comments. Nice touch at the end, says Don. David, avoid the temptation of gear sluts. It's not what you spend on gear or how much gear you have. Being in the music production industry is all about as much you need to spend to get the job done. Yes, I agree. Yes, don't go getting too much, only enough. Christopher, how would you do T-Pain if you wanted? Just totally increase it. Christopher, I'll show you that on the stream next Thursday. Make sure to set a reminder over on YouTube. Let me actually bring up the YouTube page so I can show you. Music Radio Creative YouTube page is at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. And here next Thursday, how to auto-tune your voice. Click set reminder on that. Make sure you're subscribed as well. And then you'll get reminded when I do auto-tune, and I'll cover that in depth for you next week. Where's the best place to buy Logic from, says Anthony? The App Store in Apple. It's just the App Store. Buy it as an app and you get continual updates. In fact, they updated just 2 days ago and gave us new drummers. So yeah, I'm just absolutely loving Logic. I won't use it as my main DAW because it's not good in my opinion for radio imaging. I'm just not used to it. I'll always use Adobe Audition, but when I need to do music, it's Logic. As an ex-jingle singer, this is fun. Thanks, Don. Really appreciate that. Top tip for making a station jingle. Awesome, awesome. Right, we've got about 30 seconds left, so I'm going to pop these out of Logic. Let us export everything. And actually, I can't finish this off now, but what I will do is export this as a separate stem as well, and I'm going to post it over in the community. So go join if you haven't done so already, mrc.fm/community, and everything that I've worked on today will be posted in a secret members only category. So you need to join to see it, and then you can download all of my stems. I'd like you to play with them over the weekend and post your results in the Music Radio Creative community for myself and others to hear. Have yourself an absolutely fantastic weekend. It's been great being with you as always, and I'm back Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. UK time, and I very much look forward to chatting to you in the forum over the weekend.